Hello Fretwellers and welcome back to MrMFretwell Plays Minecraft, and we are here again today in the little corridor by the storage room, and I've been working here a little bit since the last episode, and I have to say I'm beginning to get a little bit frustrated with how slow progress is going on this thing. There's a lot to do, perhaps more than I maybe initially realized, and as a result of that things are going a lot slower than I thought they might. So I'll take you on a tour of what I've done. So I've carved out all of the areas around the storage room in terms of pathways. So as you can see here, this is where you go in. There'll be a 3x3 door up there, and the pathway comes out in the storage room. And they're done on all four sides. Now, I've started to sort of line the walls with stuff here as I've done in this one. But this takes a lot more hardened clay than I thought it was going to do. And I'm pretty much out of hardened clay. And I still have a long ways to go here. And on top of that, I was probably working on this for about 45 minutes to an hour. And really not all that much got done. So I'm thinking I may have to re-strategize with this here a little bit. And see what I can do. Because this has taken a long time. And just the thought of having to carve another 3 floors of this, or even 2 floors, if I decided to compact it down a little bit, is just pretty unpleasant, to be perfectly honest with you. And then we've got to basically build another room a bit smaller than this, but still quite large, over in that direction for a darkroom trap. It's really a lot of work that I'm not sure I would really want to do, to be honest. I'm still want to go for it at the moment, but I may have to look into alternative ways of getting this done a little bit more rapidly, because I could be digging this for months and months if I'm not careful. And it doesn't seem that big, but with just an Efficiency 5 Unbreaking 3 pickaxe, I can't really make a lot of progress on this very quickly. So I'm going to look into what I can do with this, because it's very slow going and I would like to try and speed things up a little bit as far as getting this done is concerned. And obviously keep going back and forth to the mesa for hardened clay, even though we have the rail line now. That's just more work on my pick, and it's more time spent to come back here and spend it all on, you know, lining walls with stuff. And going quartz mining for the stairs, that takes its resources as well. But maybe eventually we'll be able to do something here which is a little bit more productive. And the second floor is going to be obviously the next thing to do. And I want to kind of finish up all the blocks on the second floor as best I can. That's kind of the objective. And then for the third floor, maybe all the items. And that's probably going to take a little bit of time. One option I've thought about is I might have to enlist some help from a few friends to actually get this done in any reasonable time frame, and that may be one option. But I'm going to think about it for a while. I'm not in any real hurry to do this, but I kind of want to see this room somewhat finished now. I mean, I guess it kind of is, but you know, there's still stone there and there. Obviously there's no 3x3 doors in, and obviously that won't take too long, but there's a lot of stuff still to be done, and this is only 1/3 of it maybe, if that. So it's not too invigorating to know that I have a lot still to do, and the darkroom trap over there. So that's what I've been mainly working on off camera. Now for today's episode, I actually have an idea, because I'm kind of getting a little bit sick of working in here, and just indoors in general, really, because basically that's all we've been doing. We've been working on this guy here, we've been working on the farms over there, and the last thing we did that was really outside was the farm stacks, and that was quite some time ago now. So what I would like to do is actually spend some time outside doing a little bit of work, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do some sort of terraforming, I guess. Terraforming, that's the word I'm looking for. Terraforming. I must have terraformacraft on the brain, and that's why I said that. Probably because I've been looking into it lately. Not really for a series, but just it seemed a little interesting to me, so I've been kind of taking a look at that, and that's probably why I said that. So, we have this area here, And obviously the lab is right there. A lot of monsters around. We've got the farm stacks over here, sort of our branch mine and cabin there. Off up that way is the ice farm. Down there's our animal pens and that kind of thing. I'm going to keep an eye out just in case there's any monsters around, particularly creepers that want to ruin my day a little bit. So, my plan is, and if you see my very odd looking inventory here, my plan is to kind of clean this up a little bit. As you can see, we have this here. This is from when I was messing around with the snow golem farm. And everything seems a little bit disjointed at the moment. We kind of have the lab over there, the ice farm off way over there, the branch mine here, and farm stacks. Hey, guy. I must be too far away from that guy. Did he steal a clay block? I hope not. Now, talking of Enderman, you can actually see around here, there is a lot of terrain that has been damaged by Enderman. So I would like to kind of put that right too. And obviously, it's going to be a gradual effect, but if I can keep on top of it, then it shouldn't be too much of a big deal. So what I'm thinking I want to do here first is set up a pathway of sorts that kind of connects all of this together. So if we have the lab over there, we kind of want it to swoop down, perhaps around the animal farm, and it sort of comes around here, up by the cabin and this, and then off to the ice farm, and then we'll probably have it connect over here as well to the lab. And it will kind of be an oval shape with a bit sticking off it, which goes to the ice farm over there. Beyond that, I would like to kind of add some decorative features, maybe get some flowers involved, that kind of thing. Maybe some new trees. We do have all the sapling types now, so we could definitely do that. And over here on this hill, what I would like to do is actually make it wheat, where there is all the dirt. And we might do some of that around here too. I'm just not really 100% decided on that yet. So, why don't we take a look at that to begin with here. So let's start down here. Now we have this doorway here, and that's too wide. I kind of want my path to be 3 wide. So, for this, I'm not really sure what we want to do with that. Because if I went up to here, that's only going to be 2 wide. If I do this, though, it's not bad. It could be better, but I wonder what this would look like. So I can do that and get away with it. I guess that doesn't look terrible. That might be a good starting point. We can kind of work off of that. I do want to use some of the cyan stained clay because it looks really good for roads, and we may do that around here. And it won't be a big deal, really. So we have these guys, these fern plants. So what I would like to do is kind of share these out of the way. I don't want to waste them. And we've got this mess right here, which I should probably tear down. And there is a chest here, so we could actually take advantage of that chest, even though it is full of junk. Let me put that in there. There we go. And these snowballs, I don't really care for those right now, so I'm going to get rid of them. This rotten meat, I don't really want that either. I just kind of want the chest for the moment here, and we have a workbench. So where would be a good workstation? Maybe right here, where I could just drop some supplies off for right now. Some more of these bushes here. So we'll put the hardened clay in there for right now. The dirt that I picked up for repairing Enderman damage. Those, and those I actually want to use to make some redstone lamps, and we might have one of the daylight detector things, similar to what I did at the fort. That might be pretty cool. I want to get rid of all this, to be honest with you. Snowballs for days, but I don't really want them right now. I just want to get rid of them. We have a snow farm. This was back from when I was testing that. I see the particles show. That's interesting. I didn't know that. And we'll get rid of these two. There we go. So we can put that in there, those bones, and that hopper might be useful for something else later. I guess we'll kind of tear this down and get this out of the way. It's very ugly looking. There's a piston here. I'll probably repurpose that for something later. So let's get rid of this. white stained clay, and I don't have my silk touch on me. It's not that many glass blocks, so I can just break those and not feel too bad about it. So we got that out of the way, which was pretty important. And we can get rid of the piston as well. Got some water buckets there if I want to do anything with water. So now we actually have some room here to kind of work with, as there was kind of junk everywhere before. So now we can actually start and kind of work on this a little bit here. So obviously we want to keep it 3 wide at all times. That's kind of goes without saying. So if we were going to do that, we'd want to do something a little bit like this. And maybe something like that. And this would run up like so. I might make it a bit more varied than just a straight path, because that's pretty boring. I might wind it a little bit, make it look a little nicer. But that's kind of a start here. And then we have this over here. We've got a similar sort of situation. So I want to probably do something a little bit like that, maybe. This is obviously going to connect. And we've got more stone slabs, so I'm not too worried. Get rid of this torch here. And we've got this. This would kind of continue on a little bit this way. Somewhat like that, maybe. Is it becoming nighttime already? I don't actually have a bed out here, but we do have one in the cabin, I believe, so we can use that. So, this would kind of continue on from here, actually. I want to kind of wrap it around the animal farms. So how are we looking here with this? Not too bad. I do think we could improve it a little bit, though. Let's kind of go up here a minute and do the 3 wide thing again. Actually, you know what? I want to shear those. Shear those out of the way. And let me get my slabs back out again. So we've got to connect this up in a way that kind of works. It's a little on the thin side right there. That looks better. That looks a lot better. And this here is a little bit thin too. And that. There we go. That looks a lot better. Just doing those few little tweaks already, it looks a lot better. And around here we'll continue this on a little bit. So that's a good start as far as this goes. So as I say, I do want to sort of give it some variety. I don't want it to all look the same, so to speak. So probably what we'll do is kind of bend it a little bit in parts. Pretty extenuated parts, like not just 5 or 6 blocks. We're looking at least 10 or 11 if we can. Like here's a really long straight bit that I would like to kind of make it look a little bit more interesting if possible. Probably the best way to do that will be something not really like that, but like that maybe. That's still only 2 wide, although yeah, I could get away with that, I think. And then we sort of extend it to there. Probably leave that as it is. Yeah, that looks a lot nicer. So, we've kind of got a basic shape going here, which I'm pretty happy with. So, what I would like to do now is kind of get my clay out and my dye here, and let's make some stained clay. Take a sip of tea, and do the rest of this. And I think I'll use all of this, so I'm not worried about crafting too much. And it will be useful elsewhere, even if I don't happen to use it all, so I'm not worried either way. And we can start and clear this out a little bit now. And I think cyan is probably the best thing I could go with. I did think about, you know, using something like stone bricks or cobblestone, but I think this will look the best. It just looks like a road. It's kind of weird. It's the greyest looking stained clay block, but it is actually cyan. So I have to bear that in mind a little bit. Now with the lamps, I'm not really sure what I want to do with those right now. We might just mark them out. And I'll just condense my inventory a bit there. And for right now, I guess I'll just drop torches on the pathway. And I would like to go up to where these quartz blocks are. Yes, that looks pretty cool. Might want to do something a little bit like that, though, just so that I can get up the steps a little bit easier. I may actually use a different type of slab, though, for that, rather than the stone slabs, because that's kind of what we're using for the exterior of the roadway here. Now, this bit is going to be quite tricky coming up this hill, because it's pretty darn steep, so maybe we should work on that for a little bit. Pass the night, though, first, because monsters are a big issue when trying to build outside, of course. So with this, we are in a situation where I guess we could do something a little bit like that for right now. We kind of have this issue where it sort of goes straight to a wall, and it's not really easy to get up it. And maybe if I went this way with the pathway, that wouldn't work too well either. Now, if I attempted to go the route of cutting it in, then I'm going to be sort of messing up everything I've got going on here. So, what I'm thinking is we're going to have to do maybe a staircase or something similar to a staircase around here to just make this work effectively. I like to kind of bend the corners where possible, and obviously this kind of links itself because it's 3 wide. And we'll sort of connect this up if we can. And that would put us there for right now. Nope. It's the only disadvantage with building with slabs. I don't really need my axe at this moment in time, so I'll get rid of these guys. And we'll connect this up like so, but just with a few changes. There we go. That looks a little bit better. But it is a bit thin there, so there we go, that looks much better. Now with this, the corner would have to be here. A little bit like that. And then we're going to have the 3, so right there. And we'll also probably have another path splitting off that way for the lab a little bit later. So now we have this challenge. And what I could start and do is I could reshape the terrain. But that would be a lot of work, wouldn't it, to bring this hill forward? That would be a lot of work because it would look really ugly unless I went all the way along like this. So what I'm thinking is maybe sort of a sideways staircase, maybe? That sort of goes up the hill, because we kind of have that shape already. Now in order to do that, we would need an area, and then it would kind of start here. I mean, I'd need at least these 3 blocks kind of away, so let me kind of plan it out with some dirt here, or actually cobblestone, because dirt's just going to blend in with the grass there, so we don't want to do that too much if we can help it. Well, let's actually just take a look. If I was to do that, it would sort of, it would come out to about here. And I guess I could shape it in reasonably well. Let's actually try that. Before I try anything else, let's just see what a staircase would look like. In full blocks, that is. So we would have stairs there, stairs there, stairs here, stairs there. And then we would come down to here. And we would end up what? Like, so yeah, right there would be our first layer of stairs. You know what? It's not that bad. I thought it was going to be a lot worse than that. So, you know what? We'll probably roll with that, actually, now that I've seen it. What type of stair I want to go with? I don't know. Probably stone brick stairs, I would have thought, so I'm going to kind of leave that for right now, as it is. I'm going to have to work a way of sort of blending it in as best I can. and sort of moving the pathway around as well a little bit so that the two connect up. But that's easy to do, really, in the grand scheme of things. So I can definitely work on that a little bit off camera. So what I would like to do now, actually, is sort of look at these areas and what we've got. So around the edge of this pathway, it looks a bit bland. So what I would like to do is integrate some flowers and tall grass and that kind of stuff, sort of loosely. Not overkill, but here and there it might look quite nice. So I have some bone meal ready to go. I actually think I want to manually place the tall grass if I can. Probably have a fern or two in there, and I would also like some colour, so we're going to use some flowers for that. That's why I have the bone meal. If you bone meal the ground, it kind of gives you this huge patch of stuff that I don't necessarily want. Let's just get a couple of each of these and see what we can do. There we go. And what do we got? We've got a mixture of 4 and 5, so that's fine. I'm not going to be using them all here for sure. So let's get these guys down then. What would I like to put here? Maybe some of these, perhaps? Maybe we'll have one there, and I don't know, maybe like a rose bush right near the front. Yeah. And we'll bone meal some of these and get the 2 high variants, if we can. It looks a little bit on the thin side, doesn't it, still? Actually, kind of didn't want to do that. We do get 2 back, though, so that's not too bad. It still looks a little bit on the thin side. I don't think there's enough colour, necessarily. And maybe we'll want to bring in, instead of that there, put that there. This area looks a little bit bland. I kind of want to put a fern there. So give me these guys back. I'm going to put a fern there. And maybe a fern here. And then we'll bone meal it if we can. And we'll bone meal that guy too. Yeah, that kind of looks better. It's still a little bit, I don't know, I can't put my finger on it, but it doesn't seem filled up enough. It might help if I got a tree in there, but I don't want to kind of detract from the whole look. Let's take a look a little bit further back. It doesn't look so bad when you get further back. This area here I'm probably going to do a little bit more with because I have more room to work with around here. So we'll probably do a little bit more there. In this little area, though, we don't have too much to really work with. So I think we're in pretty good shape with that, actually. So now what I would like to do is kind of continue on here, and some of this might need to be reshaped a little bit in order to make it work well. For right now, though, I think what I want to do next is spend some time off camera sort of figuring things out, getting that staircase set up, fixing this. This is an area that needs some improvement. I want to do some terrain landscaping, and that kind of stuff takes a little bit of time, so it's probably a good stopping point now, and we'll get back in a moment here when I have made some more progress. So I will be back shortly. So, I've been keeping busy, and some significant progress has been made now. I'm just clearing out a little bit more of this path, and I'm going to continue putting down my cyan-stained clay in our little pathway. I'm running pretty low on this stuff now, so I'm going to have to go and make some more shortly. That's fine. Just kind of want to see where we're going to get up to. It looks like, for the moment, the pathway is going to have to end here because I can't really fit it around the edge of the sheep farm for right now. But I can upgrade that later when we have the sheep underground, and it won't be a big deal at all. So, yeah, that looks to be our limit for the moment here. So let me take you over what I've done. So, as you can see, the staircase is now done. Might need a little bit of work, yeah. I'm not 100% convinced about this, but it's making travel a little bit easier, and it's a start. So I added that, and it's definitely usable. Off this way is going to be over to the lab. That's what's going to happen there. We've got this connected up to the branch mine and to our little cabin there, and that's all going well. I've started to add some wheat here, kind of some plants that we started work on in the last clip there, and I've added a tree here. I think that might look pretty cool, but without sort of crowding out the look of these farm stacks. I don't want to use trees too much, particularly these type of trees, because they do take up a lot of space and they can really block out a lot of stuff. So I don't really want to do that and go too crazy with that. I've also added some more decoration along here. I've got a pumpkin going in there. I thought it might be pretty cool. I've added some hedgerows as well. Some sunflowers there. And that's getting going. Around here I want to make a wall of sugarcane all along the edge. And that's what I've started to do. As you can see, it kind of starts down there. And I'm still going to need a lot to really make this the best it can be. But that's the aim, at least, to continue on with this, probably all the way up until here or so, where you can't really see it anymore around here. And to have a nice wall of sugarcane. It kind of makes this base feel a little bit more enclosed, but still have an open feel to it. That's at least what I'm kind of going for the moment here. I've added another pumpkin there. I'm not really completely finished with decorating out this area. I want to add a wall of sugarcane around here as well, around the pond. And as you can see, we now have an island here. So I completely built this from scratch, and I've got grass spreading. I've added some sand, and I've got some acacia trees growing. And I manually added the vines. I thought they might look pretty cool when they're grown. If I don't like them, then I can get rid of them. And that's what that jungle tree is for. That's not part of the decoration, I just needed a way of obtaining vines. So I decided to go ahead and do that, and I think that it looks pretty cool, I have to say. I might add some lighting, just some glowstone blocks in and around the pond here, and maybe on the island itself, and it might look really cool at nighttime then, which is what I'm hoping for. May also add some glowstone into the trees too, but we'll just see how that goes for right now. So eventually this sort of area with the melons and the pumpkins and the wheat, I'm probably going to phase out, and it will be a complete enclosure of sugarcane, apart from this one area here, which I think really lets you see the island. We might put a funny sign on there or something later down the road, but for right now, I think that looks pretty cool. So now I'm in the process of tearing out some of the trees that are kind of in the way at the moment. So over there, it kind of blocks the view of the lab. I would like to be able to see the lab somewhat more easily than I can from right now, but I don't want to go mental cutting down the trees and get rid of everything, because that would really detract from the look. The plan is to have a pathway, I might have to move that pumpkin, around here, and then sort of go up where this cave is, across the cave, and then around here and up through there. And we'll also have a branch off down here, as we kind of have this sort of area where I could put some seats or something. I think I talked about that before. So we're definitely going to look into doing that as well. I am looking, of course, to repair the Enderman damage. I've not really been doing a good job of that, certainly over here, because I've not really been working over here too much, which is where the majority of the damage seems to be. But we're in pretty good shape here. The terrain with this, I'm still not sure about. It's kind of hit and miss at the moment. But that I can sort of augment over time and change as to how I please, really. So the next job here is going to be to connect this up to the lab, probably clear out some of these trees, finish this path off, and then probably add some decoration up this end, maybe a little bit more around here, finish the sugarcane wall. Might want to add another tree or two around, and also up here. I do want to have a pathway that links up with the lab up here. Probably clear out some of the trees around here and make it a little bit more open, but perhaps still retain a few trees. Like this guy here I don't need to tear down. Might add a nice big jungle giant back here as well. Jungle giant? Pine tree. Don't want a jungle tree. That guy is probably going to get torn down pretty soon once I'm done with it for vines. So things are going pretty good here at the moment, but obviously it's going to take a little bit of time to really get the full effect that I'm going for. I think I do need to do a little bit of work here. It still looks a little bit bland, and I would like to try and add some more nice looking things. I'm probably going to have to take a trip out to the mesa for not only more clay, but also for bones, because I'm going through my bones so fast now, because I'm going to need to bone meal all of this stuff. So yeah, I guess we'll kind of finish that little patch off there. And I thought it might be pretty cool in and amongst the wheat just to have some tall grass. Might be a cool effect, and it looks as if it's gone and done its job. So I'm pretty happy with that now. I may add some melons around. I may actually add a melon or two on this island for decoration, because it's kind of a tropical themed island. Bit weird in a taiga biome, but I thought it was pretty cool. And it makes use of this lake, and I wasn't sure what to do with it. My other option was going to be I was going to put sugarcane all through it, and I think that would kind of detract from the look a little bit. But as you can see, the sugarcane now is growing, and it will kind of make this kind of wall here. And I'll probably have all of this lit up, but over there, probably not so much. So you'll be able to kind of feel a wall, and this is, you know, the edge of the base territory. And while it's not really protective or anything, it does form a sort of barrier, almost. I don't know what the right word would would be. Not a real barrier, but sort of kind of a figurative barrier. I don't know, rather than a literal barrier. I don't really know how to describe it. I apologize. So, things are going pretty good, as I say. Still a lot more work to be done, and this is not something I intend to just get done this episode. This is something that I can do over time. And obviously, areas around here are going to change. The animal farms will go underground, so we won't have this here anymore. There's going to be some more buildings on the surface here. I still have to find a place for a wheat farm. That's probably the main thing that's going to be going on the surface. I may put a flower farm up here for these type of flowers. The flower farm design for stuff like blue orchids and the flowers I have in here, the alliums and the tulips and that kind of stuff. And speaking of which, I do want to add a couple of those around here too, just to kind of vary the look a little bit. Those will be out in their respective biomes. I think I have a flower forest not too far from here, so I'm probably going to set up a flower farm over there, and in the swamp biome over in that direction, to get all the flowers I need, because I can't really put them here, it's location dependent. So I'm going to look into that and see what I want to do, but the wheat farm is probably going to go pretty much where these animal pens are, to be honest with you. Maybe sort of over there a little bit, perhaps. I'm not entirely sure with the wheat farm and what that's really going to be like at the moment. I have a ton of wheat, so I'm not really in a rush to farm it, but at the same time, it's becoming more of a pressing matter now because of wanting to do stuff on the surface here as well. So why don't we work a little bit before we end the episode off here on extending the pathways, maybe. And this does take a lot of time. It's very think-based, I guess. It's very thought-provoking about what it is you exactly want to do where. So I guess we'll get our little pumpkin friend there. And we should probably extend it there, maybe. And we do have some slabs left. Not a whole lot of slabs, though. Can't put that there, so my pumpkin's going to have to move again. I'll probably find a home for him when we've made some more progress here. I want to kind of dip away from the cow farm a little bit, so probably going to do that for the moment. Going to flip those over just so that we get that effect. Yeah, that will look a lot better, I think, long term. And we've got this situation, so I want to bring this like this so that I don't have the problem where it's all one block up. I don't really care for that look so much. So, why is this only too wide? What happened here? Did I not widen it? Okay, this is going to go right into the sugarcane wall, though. So maybe I'll have to do a little bit of terrain rescaping here to get this to work correctly. But that's fairly easy to do, you know. Nothing too crazy or anything. And I am beginning to run out of slabs anyway, so I think that's probably about as far as we can go, just getting it past the cow pen. This tree, I want to get rid of this guy, because he's been in the way for a long time. He's been in the way of the cow farm. There you go, cows, you've got a little bit extra room in there. If you're wondering why my cow farm is so full of basically everything, it's because I need a lot of leather for the storage room. So, I've got a lot of cows right now. Probably need to go and kill a few, actually, to be honest. And it's just a noisemaker right now. So, that's kind of got that tree out of the way. We're going to need to go sort of swoop a little bit around here, but we will get a lovely 270 pretty much of this whole sugarcane area, which is going to look really nice when done. I don't think there's a real need for any trees around here. This area could do with some decoration a little bit, and might add another pumpkin over there, seeing as we move that guy from over there now, and maybe one or two of these ferns perhaps, and we might get some of the other flowers that I've got lying around in the chest and put some over there too. But I think we're actually almost at the end of the episode now, guys. We've been working for quite some time on this, so including the off-camera stuff, so I think it's about time we called it an episode. Let me know what you think about the staircase. This is the one area I'm still a little bit iffy on. This is beginning to look pretty good now, but let me know your feedback on this, pretty much anything I've done today, because this is a very project area that I've not got too much familiarity with. I don't do a lot of landscaping very often, so let me know what you think about all of this, and I'm probably going to continue work on this off camera, ready for next episode. I'm not sure what we'll do next episode. It may actually be a case of it's about time to set up a wheat farm, although if I'm going to put the wheat farm here, I probably need to think about animal farms, and I'm not really too prepared for that right now. So I don't know what we'll do next episode. We may do some other farms that I've got in mind, some other little projects. I doubt we'll continue on with this next episode. I will do a bit of work off camera though, and we'll spend the start of next episode kind of touring around what I've done. But for now, I think we've made some real progress with this at least, and hopefully I'll come up with a project for next time that we can work on and make some more progress. So off camera, I'm going to be working on the pathways, clearing this out a little bit, and basically doing more of the decorative stuff. So things are going well here, guys. I'm really liking this area, particularly from up here. It certainly looks a lot nicer, and it will look brilliant when all of this is kind of done and linked up, and you know, all of that's sort of been cleared out, and you can see the lab nice and clearly, and there's decorative flowers and everything everywhere, and it will look really, really nice. And we also do need to connect up to our distant friend, the ice farm over there too. I'm probably not going to worry about that too much right now. I want to focus on this. That bit's a little bit disjointed for right now, and I just want to focus on this area. But it's definitely coming together, as I say. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. It was a lot of fun to record, a nice break from working underground in that storage room. And yeah, so until next time, guys, see you later, and have a good day.